Hey there guys, Kynyo here with the first episode of Final Fantasy 15. So like I said, I'm not going to do a series of this, because I've already been playing this game a lot, and this is more of a game for me than it is just for, like, you know, the channel as a whole. I'm playing this because I love the Final Fantasy series, obviously, if you can't tell already. So I'm playing this game for me. I've already been playing the game. I've logged about 5 hours into it, so I haven't played a lot, but I've played enough to get going. But I wanted to show you guys, for anybody who's maybe thinking about getting the game for the holidays, or maybe just didn't know if they wanted to get the game at all until they've seen it, a chance to actually see kind of more middle of the game. I'm not even going to say middle because I'm in chapter 2 of 15. So I'm not really in the middle of the game, but I'm in enough of the game that you can see how the mechanics work. And I'm also in a good spot where I am just running around doing essentially nothing. I'm just kind of walking around and enjoying my own time. So I'm going to show you guys kind of the mechanics of the game, what can and can't be done, and just give you a good sense, or at least what I hope is a good sense of how the game plays. Only complaint I have about this game, really, the only one, is this thing right here. This loading time is insanely long, in my opinion, but on the back end of it, it's totally worth it, and if you know what you're doing, you can avoid it. Because you only see loading times if you're fast traveling, which you can do, or if you're loading the game from scratch, because it has to load in all of the information that you're using to play the game, which is not inconsiderable, and you'll see that once we get into the world. How even though it's closed off, it's still open world, and the map is massive. Like, you thought Skyrim was big? Yeah, I feel like this is much larger than Skyrim. Obviously, I don't have scale proportions to tell you that for sure, but I feel like it's much larger. But it's very open-worldy in the areas that you have access to at the time. Now, obviously, for story reasons, they can't let you have access to all areas right off the bat, so it's not entirely open world in that sense. But because you have access to a massively large area, you have the power to pretty much go out and grind to your heart's content, more or less. But we'll talk more about the grinding features later. Because I've done a little bit of that. I'm a little bit over-leveled for the story. The story quest that I'm on is level 6. I think I'm level 12, 13, I don't know. It said in the loading screen. I didn't look at it because I really don't care. So, you have this entire world. And this is in-game. Like, this is not a mod. This is not anything else. This is literally the graphics of the game. And if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know where the hell you've been. I mean, I know this is like, okay, it's just graphics, but this game is so beautiful. First thing I want to show you, you have all of these different abilities and weapons, or sorry, not I want to say abilities, all these different weapons at your disposal, and you can change through them that quickly. And even in battle, you can change through them. So, you see these guys right here? This is the battle. There are no random encounters in the sense of, hey, we're going to go and, like, put you in a different universe and have a fight. No, this is it. Like, this is the open world. And if I want to fight these guys, I just come over here and I go, hey, I want to fight you! And I just start kicking ass. Battle mechanics are a little funky. And what I mean by funky is that they take some getting used to, but once you're used to them... Oh, I missed my block. Once you get used to them... Ow, stop it. They're actually very easy to use to your advantage, and it gives you the ability to fight enemies at a much higher level than you, strictly based upon your skill with the mechanics, and not necessarily your skill by your, like, not necessarily your character's level. So, like, when older Final Fantasy games, you have this thing where it's like, okay, I can't take out a level 20 enemy because I'm only level 5 or something like that. Well, that's not true here. Even at level 12, I've taken out level 30 people just because I'm able to manipulate the environment to my advantage and use it. And that's not something that can be said for a lot of Final Fantasy games, or as far as I know, really any up to this point except for maybe 14, which was a little bit more open. Yeah, block, parry. So, talking about mechanics a little bit here too, you don't only have the battle, you also have your allies, which as you can see, behave on their own, kind of like Final Fantasy XII, but also have a really, really good ability that you can use their abilities that you assign to them and level up with them. I'm still using their basic abilities because, like, I haven't spent too much time upgrading my allies yet. I know, bad me. But it can upgrade their abilities to help you in battle as well. You also have directional things, so, like, as you see, I just said a blindside attack there. Because I attacked from the back, I get more damage on what I'm attacking. And I know, these animals are really cute, and I feel kind of bad for killing them because they really don't give you that much XP. However, the stag will. The level 22 stag will help a little bit, considering I'm only level, 10 or 12, something like that. Block. Hey, I blocked you. Why didn't you block? But the battle mechanics are very fluid. It really gets you into the game, and I feel like it's very effective at making you feel like you have control over what the battle's doing. One word of caution to those of you who are like me and you like to go out and grind a lot. Yes, there are higher level enemies at night. Good freaking luck trying to kill them until you are closer to their level, because they are strong. And I don't just mean like, oh, level 22 when you're level 12 and they're gonna like do a lot of damage to you strong. No, they're legitimately strong and like terrifyingly so. Yes, you still, if you're in a good area, have your point warp abilities and blah blah blah. So you have the ability to get to GTFO more or less, and then come back and, you know, wreck their day. But at the same time, keep in mind that they can one-shot you. Oh no, I'm in danger. So that points out another good aspect of this battle. As you saw, my HP, or my vitality, dropped to 0, but I'm still fighting. The reason for that is because you don't die until your maximum HP drops to 0. And the distinction between your maximum HP and your current HP is that that little gray background to the bar is how my HP is actually set. Ow, stop it. Whereas my white bar is what my HP is currently at. Yeah? So if that makes sense at all. So I have the ability to not die as long as I keep myself out. Keep that gray bar above 0. Come on, kill it, kill it, kill it. 13 hit combo, yay. 14 hit combo, yay. Yes! I'm in stasis. Get out, get out, get out. So, a little indicator there at the bottom when you saw that word stasis means that I was completely out of MP, which lowers your abilities drastically. And, like, it's very, very bad. Like, if you're in stasis, you are going to have a hard time.
It was a close call.
That's it. You can get a little bit of XP there. And they always have commentary after, which tells you more or less how badly or well you did in the battle. So, that's kind of the really quick rundown on battles in 15. And they all, more or less, except for boss battles, play out in the same way. Even boss battles are quite similar. They're just a little bit different. And talking about open world, so everything that you can see, if you can see it, you can go to it. The actual map that I'll show you right here, this is the entire open area, yeah? Currently, for me. Like, again, still really, really small compared to everything that you see that can actually be explored. Like, all of this can actually be explored at some point. But right now, I can only go to these areas because of these little, you know, roadblock type of issues. But as you can see, there's a lot here. It is not small by any means. It is quite large. And most of them I can fast travel to because I've been there before. Which is nice because, again, in maps this large, it's nice to fast travel. But then at the other aspect of the game, you also have the ability to create and craft spells, which I'm going to come show you here. Let me save first because, again, Final Fantasy, save early, saved often. That's best advice I can give you. I haven't found many bugs in the game that cause the game itself to break, but I have found one or two, but they're not consistent. So I can't point you in the direction to say, hey, don't do this, you'll break your game. But by the same token, save early, saved often. It's still an early game. It's not an early development, it's a fully fledged game, obviously. It's Final Fantasy 15. It's got Square Enix's badge of approval on it, which is amazing, but then you run into the same issues with games like this that you run into games like all of Bethesda's games, where you get massively open world means massive choices, which means, okay, you can't beta test every little nook and cranny. I have crashed the game once. I don't know what conditions I had to crash the game. I'm actually going to save, because this is actually exactly where it crashed last time. So, hopefully it doesn't crash. If it does, I'll let you know. But, like, this game is as close to perfect for a fantasy game as I've ever seen. Like, this beats out 9 for me so far as gameplay goes. Story, I can't say, because again, I'm still really early in it, so I can't speak to if the story is better than 9's story. However, the gameplay so far is my favorite gameplay of all Final Fantasy games at this point. Okay, so now that we're here, we have another mechanic to talk about, and that is all of these sub-skills that each character gets. Let's have a multi-meat sandwich. Because it beer gets points. And we like XP boosting when we're completing minor quests. When you rest at the end of each day camping, or if you go to a food service place, a restaurant, he will cook up a dish for you, or you can buy a dish that actually gives you stats. And as you can see on the bottom right corner of the screen right here, it increases maximum HP and gives me a 20% XP boost. Yay! Really helpful, right? And that lasts for an in-game day, which is, I don't know, a couple hours of actual playtime. And you also get pictures of everything you've done. That one's actually really pretty. And you can save them, and you can review them, and eventually you can post them online if you really want to, and blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of really minor things in this game that are really, 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 really fun. So that's pretty much the rundown from 0 to 150 of the mechanics of 15. Now, I'm going to go back to what I was doing, which I believe was actually a story quest. Yeah, because I can't do you. I can do you, but I can't do you. Because you guys are on the outside of the barricade. You're on the outside of the barricade. I can't find you. And I don't want to do you. Okay. So yeah. So there's a bunch of other mini quests, or side quests that you can do. 2 of which I can't do because they are on the outside of the blockade, which requires me to actually progress in the story, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to progress in the story. I'm actually not going to show you guys too much more of the actual quest line, because if you guys want to play the story for yourself, I want you guys to have the ability to do so. And I don't want to have any spoilers in this story for you, because especially if you've actually watched the movie Ffxv and you've paid attention to the Final Fantasy 15 mini-series that has been going on, and actually are watching and are now playing this game yourself, or want to play this game yourself, there's a bunch that happens really, really early on that is, you know, spoiler-centric. Oh yay, Imperials! Let's kill them all. Do I have any spells to use? I have a fire, but I don't want to just use fire. I think I want Blizzaga, or Blizzara, sorry. So let's give some Blizzara to these people. Oh, by the way, for those of you going, what the hell are you doing now? I'm crafting a spell. So you can actually build your spells with components, and then craft them to build a spell into a flask. So I get 3 casts of Blizzara plus a level 25 healing, which I can then equip as another weapon. Now, the thing with spells in this game, they're not like spells in other Final Fantasy games where you are, you know, you have your black mage who is going to cast and cast and cast and cast and cast and cast. You can assign people that have higher, you know, spell potency ratings to cast for you, and that's absolutely a great idea to do. But by the same token, hey, Imperials, die. And now let's kill the rest of you. As you can see, magic is extremely powerful in this game, and I mean extremely powerful. Like it's one of the best things in this game as far as dealing damage to herds of enemies, which you come across quite often. But it also has a very long cooldown. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it's still cooling down from when I used it at the beginning of this combat. And so it's one of those things that if you can use it out of the gate, it's great. And it's going to help you immensely oftentimes, but at the same time, you have to really be careful because it can screw you over, like royally. If you use it and if you miss, because it is manual aiming, like you have a little bit of auto aim assist, but it is manual aiming. So if you miss, well, you've just wasted your upper hand in the battle, and sometimes that can be life or death. I say life or death. I personally have not yet game overed in this game, which is kind of a good thing because it's still early in the game, more or less, but it's also a bad thing because I like games that, like Dark Souls, that if you screw up, you screw up. And there have been times where I have indeed screwed up, but I haven't game overed simply for the fact that they give you such an opportunity to not. They really try to, like, give you the ability to get the mechanics down before they throw hard things at you. The fact that I go out and hunt hard things is my business. Speaking of hunts. Hunts are back from Final Fantasy 12. If you played 12 and you had the whole hunt mechanic, I know there were in other games too, but it's most reminiscent of 12 in my opinion. Like where you can go out, you get hunts, you have your hunter ranking, blah blah blah. Yeah, all that's back. And which to me is amazing because I absolutely adore hunting really strong creatures. It's fun to me. But just another perk to this game. So, overall, if I had to give this like a knee-jerk rating, which I know some people look for, I don't know why they like the numbers rating, but just for the sake of it, if I had to give this a knee-jerk rating, I would say a 9.95 out of 10. Again, my only qualm being that because it is so big, it has these massive loading times, but it is one of those games that if you enjoy Final Fantasy, if you enjoy RPGs, play it. There's really no excuse not to, unless, I mean, if you can't afford it or something, and that's unfortunate and understandable, but like, if you want the game and you have the means to play it, do so. It is an amazing game. The mechanics are great. I could kill days on this game if I didn't have other things to do. There is so much to do in this game, even without playing the story, even without going through the main quest, even without doing the side quest. Just running around and exploring, I could spend hours doing. And it actually pays off to do so. Just going to put that hint out there. You can get a lot of really good treasures by exploring. I would recommend you do so, especially if you're hunting Ultima weapons. Just saying. But, that being said, I'm actually going to end this episode here. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this, hit the subscribe button and the like button right down there. Thank you. And remember, through gaming, we can change the world. Slyfox out.